Everybody, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to my photo editing live stream where you send your images in before the stream starts and then I edit them here live for you. So sorry for the late start. A lot of things were happening all at once just before the stream started, but um, let me see who's here. We got a good group, looks like. Let's see, Joanne, Randy's here. It's been a long time since I've seen you in a live stream. And Robert, good to see you. And Sir Barry, wow, that's a new name. And Terry McCorm, great, from Canada. Wow. Okay, super. And then Roger, good to see you. I see, oh, and Eric, always good to see you, Eric. The Leica Lumix DG is on the way. Oh, wow, that looks really nice. Cool. And then Roger says you sent your OM1 to have the, wow, I haven't had any problem with my front wheel, but I think I've heard about this issue before. But yeah, maybe they will, right? Give you a new wheel that's kind of rubberized. And oh, Intrigue from Fort Belvoir. That's not you're not too far from me. I keep forgetting. Anyhow, looks like I got about 11 images in today, so I'm going to try and go through them pretty quickly. Thought I saw one other comment here. Oh, you sent it in for two. Interesting. I've heard people like getting their, like exchanging their 100 to 400 when they first get it 2 or 3 times, and then they get a good copy. That's interesting. I didn't know you could just send it in and get it tuned up. And Garrett, good to see you. I think you sent an image in, maybe not this time. I'll see it when we get to it. And I thought I saw one other comment. Oh, Surberry. Yeah, that was one of the things that was happening just before the stream started. My my KNF package came in because I ordered a bunch of stuff myself. Well, not a bunch, a couple of things myself. You know, they'll send me anything I want for free, but you know, just they weren't expensive, so I just bought it. Okay, so let's see if I can push the right button and get everything going. So I need to do that and click on that and click John Follows. Good to see you. I've never used the 200. So what I need to do, so I need to move this. Okay, almost there. So I'm going to push a button and see. Nope. There we go. You guys should be seeing the screen now. I should be down in a corner. All right, let's go to the first one here, actually from Garrett. Okay, so you did send one in. Looks like a little baby owl. All right, pretty straightforward. Let me apply, wait, let me just apply a basic preset to everything real quick. And I need to download, because I just downloaded all these from the folder. So I haven't even really seen these yet at all. Let's just do a quick application. Basically, it's optical corrections and noise reduction. I just apply that across the board. Save a little time during editing. All right, so let's start with this owl. Got good detail. This is the R50 with a 55 to 210. Cool, cool. I've always wondered what shots from this camera would look like. I look at this R50 all the time. I've had it in my shopping cart a couple times, but I never pulled the trigger. So I'm just going to go to square crop and just make it a little tighter. Maybe pull in about there. I wonder, Nah, I think just front and center is fine. Okay, and then let's I mean, this is really well exposed, so really all I have to do is just some local adjustments, I think. And generally I like to start with the eyes, and we'll just brighten those up a little bit. Right in there. Give it some clear view. So I really like the eyes to stand out. And then this beak has a very similar color in it, so I'll just add some there to the beak. Okay, so there's needs a little bit more contrast. And that's good. Your shutter speed is a little low. I'm seeing some very, very minor motion blur, it looks like. All right, so I think the head in general should be a little brighter too. So I'm just going to do kind of a global here. Let's tighten up the chroma. No, let's tighten up the lumina a little bit. And then just raise the exposure like that. And then I'm going to add some shadows. Maybe a little bit up here too. Just give it a little more dimension. Okay, so how are we doing? Before and after. Good. And let's just pull the highlights again in the idea of just giving this side a little bit more shadow. Because it's so evenly lit that it just looks a little flat to me. And we'll just add a tiny bit of exposure here. Maybe give it a little bit more warmth. Around 6,000 is good. And then I'm going to cool off the entire image. Let's give it a natural color. And then let's cool it off in general. Right about there. Okay. I'm going to add some in here as well. It might be a bit too much down here. Let's pull the highlights. Okay, and then we'll just add a little vignette and we'll call it. So right there. All right, let's export this to the same folder. We don't want to resize it. And so pretty straightforward edit. So again, because this wasn't like in a cloudy, very flat lighting, I just forced some, I did basically light painting to give it a little bit more depth. So let me reset this. And we'll put, put these side by side. So here's the before, and I'll just get him really tight, and here's the after. I think that looks pretty good. I should clean up the spill over here, but for the most part, it looks good, I think. Now, what I wanted to check with the so here's the exported JPEG here on the left. I just wanted to check the detail. So basically, there's a tiny bit of motion blur in this image. So it's not pin sharp. Like right in here, I can see a little motion blur. But overall, if you look at this at like normal viewing, it's perfectly fine. So beautiful shot, though. All right, let's go to the next one. And wow, this looks familiar. This is a female red-throated hummingbird, if I recall correctly. I just did a few of these last month. Took pictures of them. So I think, again, we're going to be pretty straightforward. OM1 with the 100 to 400. Awesome. Let's see. Let's do... This one's going to be a little tougher. I don't really need to crop too much, but I'm not crazy about this stick. Go to a square or the pole. But I don't mind this red and green. Just up a little bit. That's a little too tight, but that's okay. And then let's do some local adjustments. What I want to do is kind of bring in the highlights a little bit here. Let me tighten up the luminosity. I'm going to bring these in, push the micro contrast, and then I'm going to brighten the image overall, because it looks like it was taken under some trees or under a partly cloudy day. Okay, that's good. And I'd like to get a little more separation of this green between the green on this guy and the green here. So maybe what I need to do, I'm not sure. It's a little tricky when the colors are very similar, the luminance is very similar, to try to separate this. Maybe just give it a little warmth. Okay. And then the eyes are pitch black, so really all I can do is just brighten this up a little bit here, push the shadows. We need just a little bit more contrast. Okay, good. And the rest of this guy looks good. What I'll do is it's going to be tough to brighten just ahead. So we'll tighten up the luminosity, a little more contrast. Give it a little more shine on the wings, and we're going to need more contrast again. And I think that's it. So let me go ahead and just add a little bit of vignette. Like so. I might want to, let me go back to natural again. Yeah. And just warm it up just again a tad. Okay. All right, let's export this one. Okay. And once that's exported, we'll do a side by side. This this image was emailed to me because I didn't do a live stream last week. So they just emailed it to me, but you can always use the link that's in this video to any other future live streaming editing sessions. All right, let's reset it and do a side by side. We'll compare it against the. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this bar. Okay. So you can see I cropped in quite a bit because I just don't like this pole here. And I didn't like the plastic down here. So we just kind of kept it down to simplified the image to the core elements, basically. And I like that it's off center a little bit. I like how the eyes got lit up, and then I added some shine to the wing. I think that came out really nice for the most part. And of course, the noise was cleaned up with the noise reduction. Hopefully, you guys can see this on the stream because, you know, when they're streaming, you lose a little bit of quality. So it's hard to appreciate how much better it looks on my screen versus what you're seeing in the live stream. But again, very well exposed, very good settings on the camera with the shutter speed and all. So I think that came out really nice. Let's go to the next one. All right, wow, a lot of birding pics this week. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna need. Whoops, I'm sorry. There we go. This is gonna need some cropping. We'll do a square crop. Looks like he used flash on this. In fact, who is this sent by? Is this Randy's picture? Because I remember you were talking about using flash. I don't know if I saw it on your Flickr page or maybe, yeah, it had to be your Flickr page. You were talking about using flash. I don't remember who, let me see. It'll tell me. Oh, it is Randy. Okay. You're using flash on your birding pics. Okay. So we're gonna have to warm it up a bit. There. This flash is always a little bit cooler. And this one might be a little bit easier to separate from the background. Let me just start with the eye. We'll push that way up, push that way up. Let me get in there close and see. So there's a little bit of color in this guy's eye. So I'm going to do some more contrast. Maybe not that much. Right there. Maybe push the color a little bit. Let's go into orange. See if I can brighten that a tiny bit. Okay. There, that looks better. And then let's go ahead and even out the lighting. So I'm going to brighten up the head. I'm going to try. I don't know if I can isolate the head a little bit more. With the luma masking. Let's try that. Yeah, that's a little better. And then we'll push the shadows down in here, or the blacks. Okay. Yeah, that's a little more even. And just a tiny bit here as well. How about over here? Yeah, let's darken up all this area down in here to kind of minimize the effect of that flash look. I have to push. Let me just do it with a brush because it needs a little bit more. Okay. Let me do this one. Use a smaller one. And right there. Okay, let's go ahead and brighten the image up just kind of globally. A third of a stop. Let's warm it up a little bit more. And maybe a little bit more green. Oh, no, that's too much green. Let's go back up. All right, let's add a vignette. And I think we're good here. Not quite. I'm gonna just get rid of some of this distraction here in the background. Wait, let me just repair this. Like that. All right, that's looking good. Almost there. Just not quite happy with the crop. That's a little bit too much headroom. Okay, and then let me add one more. Just add a little bit more light here. And here. Just about a third. And this needs to come down just about a bit there. Then we'll give this a little more warmth. All right, I think that's good. Just the beak needs a little shine to it and we're done. So let's do this and some micro contrast and a little bit of a push. Maybe not that much. Okay, let's export this one. And let's see how that goes. That export, I think it did. That's the only problem is I can't see. All right, good. All right, let's reset it and do a side-by-side with the edit. Oh, it's a little bit too warm. So what I probably do, I mean, compared to this one, right? But what I probably do is I would just cool this off a little bit. Now that I'm seeing them side by side. But nonetheless, I think it's a lot better. It doesn't look like a flash picture anymore, at least, right? Because this one over here, clearly this is flash. So just kind of tricking the eye into thinking, you know, that the light's coming more from the top right rather than coming from the bottom left, because the light seems to be kind of coming from the left side, just a little bit lower. But I think that looks pretty good. Wait, why is, sorry. Let me turn that off and do, see if I can, yeah, that looks really good. As opposed to the original, I think. All right, thanks for sending that in, Randy. Always good to see you. Let's go to the next one. And we have sort of a horsey landscape. These power lines are, I think in Photoshop, sometimes I use AI to get rid of the power lines, but let me just crop this image. I don't know. I've been really liking square crops lately. Right there. And this one's a little harder for me. Let's bring in some clarity. So I'll use a control line. Like that. Give it a little bit of warmth. Just some contrast. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, that looks about right. That looks natural, I think. Ooh, but it had, I need to tighten up the masking a little bit. It's bleeding onto the tree too much. So I think a chroma mask would be better. Yeah, there we go. Now it's not affecting the tree, but let's see. Yeah, that looks good. All right, now, actually, I do like that sort of sun coming in from the right. Wonder if I can do that with another control line. But I'm going to use a very, very tight mask. And a very tight luminosity. Let me pick a little brighter spot here. All right, good. Okay, I might be able to back this off a little bit. No. All right. Just give that a little bit extra warmth and some clarity, contrast. Okay, let's do another control line right in here. And just give the greens. Or should I make that softer? No. Okay, almost there. And then a couple of control points. Again, let's make this, whoops, I need to make a new one. Okay. Here. And here. Mm. All right, we're almost there. I need to add another one right about there and there. And let's just pull the exposure back a tiny bit. And I'm just basically doing the same thing I've been doing with the other images. I'm just trying to pull the light into one direction. I think we need a slight horizon correction too. Okay. And then as for these power lines, I don't think there's much I can do about these, but I'm gonna try and see if I can do that. Yeah, that's not bad. All right, let's get rid of these just a little bit. This one I'm going to have to be a little bit more precise. Like this would be like a couple of clicks in Photoshop, right? With the AI. Okay. All right, that's good enough. Just trust me when I say I would fix this in Photoshop uh, the rest of the way. Um, it looks weird though. Only some of the power lines fixed, right? Let me just forget it. We'll just leave the power lines in there. Okay, let's export this and do a quick comparison. I could send, I think Randy's saying something about you can send this out to another software. I could do that here. I could export it to Photoshop and then come back, but I don't want to get too carried away. Because you guys get the idea, right? The gist of what I'm doing here, basically. Okay, so let me do a quick before and after. So we'll reset this, compare it with that. So there's the before and after. So let me just bring it in. So it's a pretty heavy crop. And again, hopefully the scene has a little bit more depth to it now by pushing the light or pulling the light into different directions using the control points. And it's certainly a lot crisper. Because if we go in very close on the tree, you can see that DxO really brought the details out. It's a little bit too crispy in the leaves here, but I could go back and just soften that up a little bit. Yeah, that's the before and after. Okay, let's go to the next one. And we have a bee picture. I think we need to do a square crop. We'll do that. And I'm going to, let's go to natural color. Let me pick these greens and just pull these down a little bit. Because these flowers are a little bit blown out. So I'll do a Luma mask. Okay. Okay, that's good. Give them a little more warmth. I'm going to fix this. Getting a little bit of haloing, but that's all right, I guess. Not sure what did I, oh, right in here. So hold on. I need to fix this so I don't get that. Let me just make a new control point because I was starting to get kind of a halo effect in here because I pushed the, I just wanted to darken it without the halo. That's better. Okay. And then let's make a new control point here. I'm just going to push the micro contrast on it. Maybe a little bit of clear view. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to give this a little more shine on the front here. I don't know if I can do that for the antennae. Maybe I'll use a different, let me try it with this. All right, good. Let's add a vignette and we'll call it. And what are we at? We're at ISO 8000. So we need to export this. Okay. So there's the before and after. Oh, wait, no, it's not. I got to reset it. Hold on. There's the before and after. Yeah, I think that came out great. Cleaned up the noise. I really like just adding highlights in here. And then I suppress the highlights on the flowers to sort of, keep your attention on the highlights on the bee. So technically, this is the brightest part of the scene. Because over here, when you look over here, your eyes kind of go right to this flower. Because I think over here, your eyes go right to the bee now. So, yeah, I think that looks great. Okay, let's go to one from John Follows here. And we have, I've seen these flowers before somewhere. I don't know what they're called, but they're really beautiful flowers. And just unique in that they hang upside down. This might be hummingbird food, I don't know. But anyhow, it's a little bit off in terms of horizons. So let me fix that. Okay, and then crop wise, I think I'll keep it portrait. I just want to maybe just get a little bit tighter. Yeah, let's get a lot tighter. Okay. There we go. All right. Let me go to the color. And let's pull the reds back a tiny bit. And definitely the greens need to be a little darker, a little less saturation. I'm just looking before and after here. So I'm losing some fine details here. Red is always a pain in the ass. Okay, I'm losing some fine detail here, so I got to think. This is red. Editing red is my nemesis, honestly. I really struggle with it. Maybe I need to do that. Okay. And then let's do some micro contrast. And I really need to pixel peep this on the reds. Okay. I don't want that. Right in there. Okay. Now let me fix a little bit of the lighting again. Okay. And let's just hit all the reds. Oh, I'm terrible at editing red. I'm sorry. I have to practice this. Let's So I'm not going to kill myself on this one because I'll just be upfront. This red is always a problem for me. Let's just hit some of these highlights. No, not there. Maybe this one. How about that? A little bit in leaves. And these stems a little bit more. Oh, that's too much. I need a separate one. I'm just going to add just maybe a quarter here. Okay, I'm going to call it. This was tough. This was a tough one. It's a little bit of a web here. And a little bit of drop there. Drop there. Okay. All right, let's export this one. I'm going to do a quick comparison. Okay. You reset it. All right, so oh crap. I almost like the original better than my edit. But here's my thought process. All right, before I totally give up on this, let me do one more thing. So I noticed this after I did a side by side. These purple areas. All right, now we're good. It's almost ready. We reset this. Okay. So this was my thinking, right? I wanted to concentrate on the density here, where the flowers were most grouped together, and then minimize this bright spot. And I need to correct the horizon a little bit more. They still look a little crooked to me. But for the most part, that was the direction I was going. And the reds are always a problem, at least for me, because they're always so rich and saturated. I don't care what camera it is. My Sony does it, my Fuji does it. Whenever I get strong reds like this, I always have a hard time editing. But okay, let's go to the next one. And see, we have a chain. All right. This one, let me just do an automatic perspective correction because crooked lines just bother me. And the tones here are, I'm going to do just a quick eyeball on the black and white. Because there's, yeah, because there's not a lot of color here, right? It's basically these reds and then everything else is a shade of gray. So if I just go right to black and white, push the reds here. Uh, okay, let me think about a crop. Let's see if I can create something. That nut is bothering me. All right, good. Maybe. Still not sold on this crop. What if I went much tighter like this? Okay, I like that better. Oh, I thought I cut that off. Let me. Okay. And then let me just brush a little bit more. I want this chain to be very gritty. Okay. And then we will pull back on these guys a little bit. And a slight push overall. Okay, I'm going to call it there. So export. And still not getting quite the look I want on this chain. Let me see if I can amplify that even more. All right, that's a little better. Very subtle difference, but I'm going to go with this. So let me reset it to a side by side. Okay, so clearly a much tighter crop. I didn't feel like we needed to see the chain back in the shadows or any of this stuff, right? So I just simplified the image to the core uh, elements here, which is what the chain is wrapped around. And then I just tried to emphasize the chain with the most contrast possible. But I think that came out okay. So let me zoom in. There's the that's a little tight. I think that looks good now. I might back off the grit on the chain a little bit if I went back, but that's about 99% there. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right, we have a landscape. Oh, this is from Joanne. No problem, Joanne. You went for black and white too, right? I mean, it makes sense because there wasn't a lot of tones there, meaning color. So let's see here. We have some clouds we need to temper. We have this water, and then we have this really deep shadow area. This is the kind of thing, if you can, you need to go at a different time of day, right? So the light's hitting inside, if that's an option. I don't know. Some locations you can never get light inside. But I'm gonna pretend a little bit. So I'm gonna push a lot of light on the left side here, because there is some there already. Let me just temper the clouds a little bit. And go there. Cool them off a tiny bit. Okay. I might have to warm it back up, but I might do that with a local brush. Oh, I should hold on. Let me think about a crop real quick. Because if you crop and move things around after you do all your local adjustments, this is the one thing they need to improve on in the next version is that all the local adjustments you do follow the crop and horizon corrections, because Lightroom does that. But with Photolab, if you move the image or recrop it, your local adjustments don't move, and then everything gets off. But I think a little bit wider shot would look good. Maybe even wide, 16 by 7. Oh, there's some dude sitting over here. I didn't even see him. Okay, I think that looks better. So let's go with this. All right, let me go back to my local adjustments, and I'm going to just push the light a little bit on this side, a little more. Okay. Maybe a little bit there. I'll come back to the clouds. The clouds need a little more work. Maybe I should have just done a control line instead, but I need something here. Something's not looking too natural. Okay. Good. Let me try a control line now. I'm going to put a pretty strong chroma mask. Okay, good. I like that. So now you can see this guy down here on the bottom left. Because your eye is drawn to the left side now, and I can't see anything with my big head in the way. But let me see if I can. Let me work this control line a little bit more. Maybe I need to. Okay. All right, that's good. I'm going to duplicate this, but this time tighten it up a little bit more. Yeah, I didn't do that right. My challenge now is that I feel like this side is still a bit too dark. Let me just do something like this. Oops. That one. Sorry, I'm concentrating here. Landscapes are always a little bit tricky. All right, I think one more control line and I'll be almost done here. And we're going to do it on the water. Okay. Second. Why is it affecting? Let me delete this real quick. Something's not right. I need to come in from this side. Okay. All right, good. Maybe not quite that. Just a touch. Okay. And then I need to soften these rocks a little bit. Okay. Sorry. I'm just, I don't know if I went in the right direction or not, but there's a certain colors, like the reds, the oranges I need to pull back on. And then we'll push the greens. I'm going to shift them a little bit warmer. All right. I kind of did a little bit too much in here. So let's pull it back a tiny bit. All right, let's call it. So I'm going to export this. The clouds, not happy with the clouds, but we'll live with that. Okay, so let me reset this. And we'll do it side by side. All right, so here's the original, obviously on the right. And I kind of like the water down in here, but it's not moving enough. What would have been really nice for this shot is to do a long exposure so that the water down here gets a little bit smoother. So if you're on a tripod, put an ND filter on, get like a 3 or 4 second exposure. I think that would have made a big difference because the water is a little bit gritty overall. But I think for the most part, this crop works better than this one did. Because now it feels like I don't know, this just feels better to me right here. So let me expand this out. So that's the edited shot. And that's the original. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful scene though, I think. Just look, yeah. That's probably 80% of what I would do. If I came back to this image, I might do something totally different because there's a lot to work with. But because I kind of like the soft glow here too. But anyway, that's what I'm going with for now. But I could probably do this image another way very easily. I think a triptych would look good. But all right, let's move on to the next one. And okay. Architectural. Wow, lines are straight. That's awesome. And we have, let me see what's in here. This is a tough call. I like the reflection here. We may need to do just a tiny bit. No, not that. Just a tiny bit of, let me just see if I can straighten this out a tiny bit. This is one of those shots that if I do it by eye, the other things in the scene are going to, yeah, now we're good. It's hard to do shots like this by eye when everything's so far away because the trees kind of throw you off a little bit. And, you know, what looks straight, but now it looks straight to me. See, if you look at the before, it's very subtle. Okay. Now, for a crop, I've got a lot of mixed feelings here. But there's not much going on to the right. So I think I'll stick to the left side here. Let me see. I mean, I'm not going to be able to get a perfect symmetry unless I use a different aspect ratio. Still feels off. But we'll leave it. All right, let's do a couple of local adjustments. I'll do a control line like this. Like that, maybe. Just pull the color back a tiny bit. And then let's do maybe control point. Just want to make this building stand out a bit more. And we'll push the red a little bit and the green. I guess that's more of a blue, but I can't touch the blue. Sky. Let me just pull the highlights in a tiny bit there. Give it some contrast. And then just a little bit of shadow fill. Maybe a little bit in here. 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 I like there's somebody here. Let me see if I can just make them stand out a little bit more. Okay. Tiny bit more. All right, I think I'll call it. Well, not quite. I think I need just a tiny bit of vignette. And this water. All right, I'm going to call it there. Let me export. I think we're good. Let's do this. 9 and reset it. All right, so there's the before and after. It's primarily has to do with the crop, right? There's just a little bit too much stuff on the right side, so I had to get rid of that and just focus on the building and frame it with the trees and then try to get a nice reflection in the water. The only other minor thing here is this little accent of these people here. So let me this person here, I just add a little extra light here. I think it's a very nice accent to the picture overall, in addition to these people in the center. This little baby stroller. But I think that looks good. So yeah, okay. Awesome. Let's go to the next one. We have some water drops. It's a tough call. I'm going to eyeball the black and white because, again, there's really only one color in this case, sort of the yellow-green. So I'm going to go black and white. And then let's see if I pull the greens down over here. Pull the blacks in. Push the highlights. And then just mess with the water a little bit with a couple of spots. So you see, any detail in those? Yeah, a little bit. So I'll pull the highlights down a little. But give it some more micro contrast. Okay. And then we just need a little bit more light in here. And here. Maybe not there. Just back this off a little bit. Go back to this one and push a little bit in here. All right, I'm going to call it there. So let's reset. This needs a little bit more bump here, but that's all right. So reset this. All right, so there's the before and after. So again, because there's not many colors here, other than this sort of greenish yellow, I decided to go black and white. And I think it's pretty dramatic. All I had to do is just give it a little more pop overall, particularly on the water drops. So I didn't have to crop it all, but there's the edit. There's the before. I mean, if I cropped, I would crop a little bit off the top, but it's so tight that I would cut off the left and the bottom right, which I don't want to do. I like everything going on in the bottom, and I don't want to knock any of that out. All right, let's see. Let's go to the next one. And we have kind of a street scene here. Yeah, you're right, Sir Barry. That would make a great puzzle. You're funny. Okay, so this is kind of weird. These corners this looks like a scan of a film. This is definitely a scan. What kind of file format is this? This got to be a TIFF or something. But anyway, yeah, 97 megabytes. So this has got to be a TIFF file. Let me see. I kind of think I want to keep the edges here. So I like that. I like that. If anything, I would amplify these edges. But what we have to do is try to restore this image without losing that filmic feel to it. So let me just do a quick look at what's in the shadows. Okay, lots of good information here. So let me just push the exposure. I just want to see where the light is. Okay, all right. So I'm just going to push it like this. So basically, I'm just raising the light on the entire image as if you had exposed this properly in the camera. Assuming, you know, that you wanted all of this to be in there. And then I'm going to try and avoid too much. Just give a slight push on the color. And then I'm going to pull the highlights in. So we'll do a little dodge and burning like Ansel Adams here. Um, see if I can recover just enough. Okay, do that side, do that guy's shirt. What happened here? Oh, yeah, that's not going to work. Film is tough, man, with the shadows. Okay, and just a little bit of a touch under here. Okay. Like I said, I didn't want to jack it up too much because I want to retain that sort of filmic look. But you're allowed to dodge and burn a little bit, just like Ansel Adams, right? But I don't want to do it to the point that I destroy that filmic look. I think I'm done here. So maybe if I had to do a tiny bit more. This kid, this lady, that dude. I'm just going to do a slight quarter stop, maybe. Very subtle, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, half a stop. This kid. Got that lady. All right, we'll leave it at that. Okay, now I'm done. So let's export and reset. This needs to give this a second. Ooh, my eyes are so tired all of a sudden. Okay. All right, so there's the before and after. And again, my goal, like I said at the beginning, I didn't want to lose that filmic look to it. So the key to dealing with film, I think, at least when you're editing scans like this, is to try not to lose that authentic feel, because clearly the white balance is off here. Because, film has different sensitivity to different kinds of colors. And this film is definitely running cool, on the cooler side. So whatever film stock this is. And if I tried to mess with the white balance, that would kind of lose the look or particular feel that you want from this film stock, right? So hopefully I was able to retain that, but I think that looks pretty good. Uh, so there's the edited image, and there's the before. Okay. Let's see. That was from, oh, Terry. Oh, you're welcome. So that looks like that was the last one. Awesome. Um, just checking here. Yeah. All right. So good set of images today. I hope you guys like that. Let me rearrange my windows since we're done editing. But you guys are awesome for sending those in. I always have a lot of fun editing them. I hope you like them. I try, right? And it looks like Randy said something about maybe using a gel on your flash when you're doing the images. I don't think that's really necessary. What you should do is just adjust the white balance in your camera, uh, because it's just too hard to um, match the white balance of the flash when you're outside. Because if it's cloudy out, it's going to be a little cooler, then your flash is going to look kind of warm, right? So what I would do is just set your white balance to like 5600 Kelvin in your camera, rather than using whatever auto setting that the camera might use. Uh, yeah, just force it. If it's an Olympus camera or maybe other cameras as well, you have to double check that the white balance for flash is not also set to auto. It's in a different part of the menu. You just want to force it and then manipulate the raw image selectively like I did there, because it's very, very difficult to get natural looking flash outdoors. It's always going to look kind of flashy, right? um, and then let's see if there's any other comments here. Oh, Terry says, yeah, scanned from a negative from 50 years ago in Mexico. Yeah, now, there's so many tools out there. Photoshop has like a photo restoration plugin and all the AI. You could probably get that photo looking almost like it was taken in a digital camera, right? But that's awesome. I really appreciate you sharing that image. It's always fun to see a certain nostalgia feel to film images, right? And Eric's saying the same thing, right? Can't beat the film image. Um, they are beautiful. They are beautiful. There's just something very organic about film photography. I need to go out and shoot some film this weekend, maybe. But how are we doing on time? Well, I finished up a little early, so that's why I'm kind of jibber jabbering now because I did get this box in. I don't know if you guys want to see what I got in today. Let me see. I know I ordered a bag. You know, um, man, they really packed this thing. I did get a bag, Andrew. Yeah, I bought that bag. I told everybody else to buy because I thought it was a nice bag, and then I think I got the gray. Oh, and I got a strap for my Pen F. Ooh, I'm excited about this. Yeah, that's a good looking strap. This gray is gonna look so good on my Pen F. Um, I should do a whole different live stream for this. Maybe I'll do that. I'll just shut this down and start another one. But just for the sake of, since you guys are here, uh, a bunch of other stuff came in from Amazon too. Neat. Ooh, yeah, very nice. The little sling bag I told everybody to buy. See, this was on sale for like $23, on their Prime Day thing. Uh, yeah, this is awesome. This is better than I expected. I'm like a little kid on Christmas. I love this. Look at this thing. Wow. It's perfect. I thought it'd be bigger though. But yeah, the little insert. And I organized I know a lot of you guys follow me on my regular live stream, so that's why I'm doing this. You guys know me. But yeah, I need to arrange this. Got some extra pockets in here. Little zipper pocket in the front with the battery holders and the key ring. Man, this rocks. This is going to be perfect. I can't wait to take this. I might take it out today. Oh, the back pocket is zippered too. Man, $23. I mean, come on. You had to get the gray one. If you got like the green or black one, it was like $29. But I don't care. Nobody. I'm not, taking pictures of this bag, right? Uh, and I got the tripod strap down here. Let's see how that holds up. Let me look at the stitching. The stitching is always, with these cheap bags though, it's always the stitching that you have to watch out. It's not cross-stitched or anything, which, what do you expect for $23? But hopefully it'll hold. The materials feel really good. This is nice. And then I got my filter holders. I should just do a whole other stream because I organized my filters. I got a perfect system now. Because I had like 24 filters and about a dozen or so lenses that I had to kind of cross-pollinate, right? But I organized everything. I know exactly what filter rings I need, exactly what filters I want to use on what lenses. Took me all freaking day. That's what I did. I think it was yesterday or day before. I spent hours just organizing my filters. But I got these little filter pouches, like I paid $3 from Prime Day. And then I got my strap. This strap is going to look awesome on my Pen F. Ooh, how nice. Look at that. I mean, they really packaged this. This looks like a $100 strap. I think I paid like $15 or something. I can't remember. I have to look. But I paid like next to nothing. Ah, those are metal. Okay. I was worried that this, because I was reading a review, somebody said that this was plastic. But, you know, when I put it up to my face, man, it's cold. So this is definitely metal. But look at this. How nice is that strap going to look with my Pen F? Right? This kind of silvery strap with the Pen F. The clips look like plastic. Yeah, these are not plastic. These are metal. I was worried about that because I read in one of the reviews somebody said it was plastic, but he's lying. Now this is plastic, obviously, these clips, but it's a two-handed thing. You have to push one to release it. I like the two-tone stitching. All right, I got to put it back in and pretend that I'm opening for the first time in my next stream. We'll call it, I don't know, Prime Day haul or something. I need to get some water and then come back. Yeah, this is awesome, this strap. God, this is this in the bag. Let's see how the Pen F fits in here. I mean, yeah, it's perfect. Just lays in there. I mean, the bag is not as big as I thought it'd be, but then when I put my camera in there, the bag looks humongous compared to the camera, so I don't know. I'm looking at some Manfrotto ones too. Manfrotto called me. Well, they emailed me. They want me to review something. I looked over their entire website because they were like, just pick anything you want off the Manfrotto site. I was like, well, I don't know. I don't like the Manfrotto plates on their tripods, so I kind of ruled out most of their tripods. But they have some nice bags and backpacks. So I might do that. I don't know. Okay, Randy's got to head out. All right, Randy, thanks for coming in. But yeah, I'll have to do another stream maybe later tonight. I don't know, but I gotta get some water. I'm thirsty. So everyone, thanks so much for sending your images in. They were awesome, and I will be back next week for some more editing. I always have a lot of fun editing your pictures. I appreciate you sending them in. And then, of course, if you guys like what I do here, you know, you can always buy me a coffee or send me a donation. It always helps me out a lot to buy straps and bags and stuff that I'll share with you as well. Uh, you know, because when I recommend stuff, it's like it helps if I actually have one, right? Sometimes I have to recommend stuff that I haven't actually owned or ever seen in my life, but based on the reviews and what it looks like in the pictures, it looks like a good product. But life of a YouTuber, right? Influencer. So thanks again, guys. We'll see you at the very latest Sunday, but you might see me again tonight or tomorrow because I need to organize everything that came in. I didn't get everything in, but almost everything. So you guys rock. We'll see you again soon.